Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel Learn Spanish Easily with Sergio. In today's lesson we are going to see the verb hacer, to do and to make in English. And at the end of the video we'll be seeing two idioms, very common in Spanish. So if you watch the video till the end, you'll find out what these idioms are and you will learn their meaning. Let's see the conjugation first and then some examples. So hacer, to do, to make. Let's see the present tense, tiempo presente. Yo, tú, él, ella, nosotros, nosotras. Vosotros, vosotras. Y ellos, ellas. More irregular for the first person in the singular, because we have to do this. We have to change the C for a G. So, yo hago. I do, I make, yo hago. Then it's less irregular. Tú haces. I'm going to write the root first and then the ending. So as to see that it's not too irregular, like the verb to be or to give. To give is similar to this one. Like the verb to go, ir. Now I'm going to write the endings, and you'll see that they keep being the same as in the other cases that we've seen up to now. Yo hago, tú haces. It's although it's irregular, it follows the model for the er ending. In this case, in which it is less irregular than in the past, for example. Tú haces, él hace, nosotros hacemos, vosotros hacéis, ustedes, ellos hacen. Let's see what we call pretérito imperfecto. Sorry, pretérito perfecto simple. Pretérito perfecto simple. What's a long name for the tense? What you call the simple past. Well, here the change is dramatic. Here I cannot write the root because the root itself is totally different. In another video we'll see groups of verbs that follow a certain pattern in our simple past when they are irregular, so as to make it easier for you to remember them. But in this case, let's see this one. Yo hice, tú hiciste, él, ella hizo. Well, here we have many changes. Nosotros hicimos, vosotros hicisteis, and ellos, ellas, ustedes hicieron. Remember, please, although it's very irregular, this is typical for the first person in the plural. This is typical for the second in the plural, and this for the third in the plural. Well, and in this case, no, it's very irregular. Well, so in the pretérito perfecto simple, your simple past, to make it easier for you to remember, well, we can see that the letter E is always throughout the conjugation, and the letter C, la letra C, is always here, except, of course, when it's followed by an O. Otherwise, we would say ICO. So, if you, as we want to keep the S sound, or in Spain the Th sound, we have to change this C for a Z. Hice, hiciste, hizo. In Spain, hice, hiciste, hizo. Now let's see the pretérito imperfecto. Remember, it's a tense that you don't have in English, but you already know what it means because you saw my other videos in which where I explain what we mean by pretérito imperfecto. In this case, it's easy because it's not irregular in the pretérito imperfecto. So let's write the root first. I mean, the most difficult is this one, by far. So let's see. Then, if you remember, we had for ir endings this model. So in this tense, it's regular. Hacía, hacías, hacía, hacíamos, hacíais, hacíais, hacían. Well, yes, it is difficult, but it's a very common verb, so we'll be using it in many, many sentences. Let's see examples. Well, so now let's see examples. First of all, with the pretérito perfecto simple, or simple past. ¿Qué hiciste ayer a la tarde? What did you do yesterday afternoon? Fui al gimnasio, ¿y tú? I went to the gym, and you? So this is from the verb to go, ir. Then we'll see the whole conjugation. Me quedé en casa. It comes from the verb quedarse, that means to stay. I didn't go out at all. I stayed at home. Me quedé en casa. Now let's see some examples with the present, el tiempo presente. But pay attention, please, here, because although we are conjugating this in our present, in the Spanish tiempo presente, the meaning is that that you'd convey by conjugating the verb in the present continuous. We want to know what someone is doing now, so we ask him or her, what are you doing now, but in Spanish. For that, we can use both the gerund, like you do in the present continuous, or more commonly, I'd rather say, the simple present. It may sound weird, strange to English ears, I know, but to us, it's completely normal. ¿Qué haces? Miro TV y tú estudio. So, we cannot translate it literally into, following the same tense, because it would be, what do you do? I watch TV, and you? I study. That doesn't make any sense in English, because by saying what you do in English, we mean what you do for a living, where do you work, and if I say, I watch TV, and you? It would mean that I work as a TV watcher, and that doesn't make any sense. But in Spanish, it's very, very common that we say that we say both. ¿Qué haces? Or ¿qué estás haciendo ahora? The ahora, the now, we rarely say now because it's implied. ¿Qué estás haciendo? Or what are you doing? Or ¿qué haces? We translate it into English too as what are you doing now? I'm watching TV, and you? I'm studying. This would be the translation of this from Spanish into English. Let's see. ¿Cuándo hacías los deberes de chico? Well, some of these words are new for you, others are not. If you remember, cuando means when. We've just seen hacías. Los deberes means homework. And we can say los deberes or la tarea, it's the same. La tarea is a task, something that we must do, that we have to do. And the expression de chico is as a child, or when you were a child in this case. Después de, if you remember, after. And here we have a verb that you don't have in Spanish, because in English, sorry, because you don't even have you don't have this at all. The noun is merienda, and it's a meal. It's an everyday life meal that we Argentinian people have. It's our third meal. We usually have 4 meals, most people. There are people who have only 1 meal a day, and there are people who have 6 or 7. For example, weightlifters usually have 6 meals during the day. But in general, we have 4 meals a day. One of them is desayuno, breakfast. The other one is lunch, almuerzo. The third one is merienda, that it's not your supper. It's not similar to supper. It's similar to another thing, I remember. And then we have la cena, dinner. Merienda is something very similar, to, I don't know if in England people still have their 5 o'clock tea. I don't know if this exists anymore. I should check. I guess it does, but especially among older people and upper class people, I guess. I don't know, I guess. Correct me if I'm wrong. But then I'll check it myself to make sure if it exists or not. But our merienda would be similar in what sense? It's generally at 5. It's between 5 and 6. Between 5 and 6 in the afternoon. But we don't have tea. It's not the 5 o'clock tea. We usually have coffee with milk, café con leche, facturas. Facturas, you don't have them in English either. It's similar to one of our facturas, la media luna, is similar to the French croissant. Or they may be similar to your donuts. To your donuts. Or we may have toasts with some butter on them. I mean, it's a very important meal of the day. And then at around between 9 and 10 in the evening, we have our dinner. So this means, ¿cuándo hacías los deberes de chico? Después de merendar. When did you use, because it's the tense that you don't have in... Well, I explained you in the other video what it is, so I'm not going to explain it again. You can watch it in that video. When did you do your homework as a child or when you were a child? Just after having merienda. It cannot be translated literally into English. Let's say, to make it similar to your way of saying it, just after supper, maybe a good translation. Finally, as promised, we have two idioms here, very common in Spanish, and I guess they are common in all Spanish-speaking countries. They are not from Argentina at all. The first one, una golondrina no hace verano. It's a metaphor, as all idioms. Golondrina means swallow, the bird. They fly in the summer. That's why we have the word verano, summer. And, the two idioms are with the verb hacer, that we've just seen. What does una golondrina no hace verano mean? That although swallows fly up in the sky in the summer, swallows, just one swallow flying up in the sky doesn't mean that it's summer. That's the literal meaning. But metaphorically, it means, for example, let's imagine a situation. A girl goes towards her mother and she likes, let's suppose that she likes her neighbor, and she says to her mother, "Mom, wow, I'm so happy. Billy smiled at me today for the first time. Do you think that he's in love with me?" And the mother can say to her daughter, "Please calm down. Don't take it that real." And she can say to her in Spanish, "Una golondrina no hace verano." I mean, to mean, okay, he smiled at you, but that doesn't mean. But wait for a while. That doesn't mean that he's already in love with you. Calm down, relax, and see what happens in the following days. That's the meaning. And hacer de tripas corazón. Literally, remember that they are metaphors as all idioms, like all idioms. But tripas means guts, and corazón means heart. What does this idiom mean? Hacer de tripas corazón. And we can conjugate it too. It means that although someone has made something bad to us, they have behaved badly, morally, we decide to forgive them, to give them a second chance. For example, let's suppose that, I don't know, a friend of ours shouted, or let's suppose that a friend of mine shouted very badly at me yesterday, and I got angry. And another friend of mine said to me, "Well, Sergio, haz de tripas corazón," in the imperative mood, with haz de tripas corazón, or hay que hacer de tripas corazón. we must hacer de tripas corazón, meaning forgive him. It was not something important at all. Your friendship is more important than that. Well, people, I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, give it a like, share it, and subscribe to my channel, please. And see you in the next one. Bye bye.